friends, my name's Chloe Taylor and I am the creator of kozykale, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you a 2020 pick a card. So for your year in 2020, it doesn't matter what month out of the year, even if it's December 2020 that you are listening to this, it still applies. It is a timeless message for the year 2020. So before we jump in, I do want to say if you like any of the decks that I use in my readings, please make sure to pop down below. I list all of the decks I use in each reading that I do. So if you would like to purchase one, it really helps out the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. It just gives me a little kickback as I am an affiliate. So please order from there if you are going to. And if you already know how pick a cards work, I'll just let you know. This is pile number 1, this is pile number 2, 3, and then at the end, pile number 4. So if you don't know how pick a cards work, go ahead and stick around with me for just one more moment. But if you already do, then go ahead and head to the timestamps. So if you're new to pick a cards, basically what you'll want to do is pause this video and you can either meditate on the cards, you can ask your guides for guidance, you can say the numbers over and over in your head: 111, 222, 333, 444. If there's a crystal that you're specifically drawn to, or you can even check the timestamps down below, and if you see your lucky number or you feel intuitively called to a specific set of numbers based on the time that the reading starts, that might also tip you off. So just go ahead and check all of that out down below, and go ahead and pause this video and select which pile is for you. Okay, so if you chose pile number 1, the first thing I want to point out to you is we have a piece of fluorite here, and I don't know how well you can see it because it's kind of dark here and the ring light makes everything really dim and weird on this camera, but fluorite, it's actually a really, really, really beautiful like purple and green crystal. But fluorite actually assists in helping you find your purpose. So if you've been struggling to find purpose, fluorite might be a crystal that you would want to work with. So that is here for us. Now, the next things that I see for you guys, pile number 1, we have Akasha. Yeah, Akasha, which is your guidance is being divinely guided. And then we also have Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, and Teacher. So I feel like for some of you guys, this is actually like, this is the year that your spirituality is going to really be up-leveled. And I'm not talking about like, oh, you're going to get into yoga. I mean, like maybe you will, but I feel like this is going to be like totally mind altering. Maybe some of you guys are going to take like an ayahuasca trip. Maybe some of you guys are going to get deeply into meditation and unlock the Akashic records. Like this is like very, very deep trance-like spirituality. And also I feel like you guys, a lot of you that have been feeling very lonely or alone, you are actually going to find your tribe this year. You're going to find the people that divinely connect with you, and you're actually going to be making connections that you've been like waiting your whole life for these people. And the next thing I see for you guys, we have the Wheel of Fortune, we have the King of Wands. Sorry, I'm just trying to make them straight. It's gonna be a little messy, okay? And we also have the Queen of Wands. So for some of you guys, you're going to be going on a spiritual journey with your twin flame. And I don't say this very lightly. I don't even really like to talk about twin flames outside of my podcast that is actually called Twin Flames. If you're interested, it's a podcast I host with my IRL best friend and twin flame. And the reason I say that some of you guys are actually going to be reuniting with your twin flame is because we do have another card that I'll get into in a second that kind of talks about that. But we have the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. So I do feel like through this reunited finding like your tribe, you're going to find someone. And I don't want you guys to be confused. So many people teach that like twin flame connections are only romantic. That's not true. Maybe you're already romantically linked to someone. My twin flame is not my romantic partner. My twin flame is another one of my like girlfriends. So it doesn't have to be somebody who's romantically linked to you, but you're going to find somebody that is so deeply in line with you. And I actually feel like for some of you guys, you're going to be starting businesses with them that are going to be like, not karmic. That's not what I'm looking for. I know the Wheel of Fortune sometimes talks about karma. It's not karmic necessarily. It's like, You guys are here to undo karma together though. And you guys are going to potentially, like I said, be starting businesses together, going on epic adventures together. And your purpose actually is very linked to each other. Now, I want to be very specific here when I say this. I don't know who is here that needs to hear this, but you are not half of a whole. Like, I think a lot of people in the spiritual community teach that, and I think it can be quite toxic sometimes. You are not half of a whole. You are whole and complete on your own, and should you choose to walk a path alongside someone else that is very linked with yours, you are both two whole and complete people coming together, not to form one, but to walk your own path alongside each other. So you are not half. So like, don't consider yourself that. But I do feel like this reading for you guys, pile number one, your purpose at this point in time is linked with someone else's, and you're going to be linking up with them this year. For some of you, it will be twin flame reunions. For some of you, it just will be a romantic relationship. Some of you, it will be platonic. Some of you, it will be business partnerships. There is another person involved this year, and they're going to be very, very, very important. We also have the thought card reversed, and thought card reversed, this is like a blockage or a disbelief in yourself. And it's like this year, I feel like you guys are really going to learn that your thoughts actually create your reality. And even if it's something that you already are privy to the information, I feel like this is the year that you're actually going to start believing it. And you're going to start to see manifestation work for you. You're going to start to see law of attraction work for you if you've been struggling. And you're really going to start to realize that your thoughts are dictating what's happening around you. So like I said, some of you may already be aware of this, but you're really going to start to see the consequence of it this year, whether that be good consequence or quote unquote bad consequence. Not that something so horrible is going to happen to you. Again, I don't teach that, but I'm just keeping it real. Like, it could go either way. And something else that I'm seeing for some of you guys with this Wheel of Fortune, this could also be an actual windfall. Like, you guys receive an inheritance of some sort, you win something really big. There is a direct windfall that is coming your way in 2020, and it's going to help you maybe launch a business project or pay for your dream wedding. Some of you guys, I feel like, will actually be getting married in 2020. If that's something that you have kind of had your eyes on, that could very well be it. And for some of you guys, I feel like you guys are really going to start to trust yourselves. Like, overall, for pile number one, you guys are really going to start trusting yourselves and trusting the universe, and stop doubting how fucking great you are. If I'm honest, I feel like you're going to stop doubting your greatness, and you're finally going to see what everybody else has been telling you that they see this year. And so another thing I have for you, pile number one, is we actually have the bear as your animal totem this year. And what your animal totem is this year. So basically, every single year I draw myself an animal totem, and it's like the one that symbolizes my year. So you guys got the bear for yours. And basically what bear means, they correspond to earth and water. Their colors are black and brown. Bear symbolizes a fierce strength and a gentle nature that is often really underestimated. Bear also enables you to see visions and have strong intuition. It encourages you to be more... It encourages you to be your own advisor. Bear often will also appear to you when you need to take time away for yourself. So even though you have these strong connections, don't lose sight of yourself. Because bear, symbolizes hibernation as well. So you may need to remember to still take time away, even though when you're with others, it feels really good. It can also indicate a need for more rest, sleep, and downtime. And when you're feeling really frazzled by life, that's going to be your saving grace. So please take time for yourself. It can also mean that you're going to need to protect someone or reflect on a situation that you're not very sure about. There's also a need to stick to your beliefs without compromise. So stop. Like I said, this is going to be the year that you guys really reel it in, call back your power, and like stand in your own truth and stop second guessing your greatness. So this really corresponds to that as well. Seeing Bear also means to look beyond a person's physical appearance to what's inside. So for some of you, the person that you end up connecting with this year, maybe there's somebody that's already been in your realm of thought, but you've never looked at them that way. And that's going to change this year. Bear also appears when you've lost your way or when you need to reconnect with your inner self at a soul level. And to really know your path, you do have to know your truest self. So like I said, a lot of you guys are also going to be like living your true identity, which is very cool. I think we're going to see a lot of that like coming into the end of 2020 as well, because we do have Aquarius or Saturn moving into Aquarius. And I think that's going to bring a lot of authenticity to the surface, period. But by the end of 2020, I think we're really going to see that for you in particular. But you may need some healing at this time, physically, spiritually, or emotionally. And it's really important for you to get balance and plenty of rest. You are somebody who is a survivor with plenty of new ideas and assertiveness to bring things into fruition, but don't hide and make sure you step out and take what's yours. So that is what I have for you, pile number one. I hope this assists you on your path in 2020. Thank you so very much. And please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at kozykale. Link is down below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to see a new pick a card every single week, as well as a myriad of spirituality, vegan videos, things like that. I also have a podcast that I run with my IRL twin flame that's going to be re-debuting for season 2, December 30th. So I really hope you guys will check that out as well. Link down below, and I will see you in a future video. Bye. Okay, my beautiful pile number twos. If you chose pile number 2, you got the rose quartz point. My point actually broke because this is one of my favorite crystals that I own. It's the one that I keep with me. Aside from like one other crystal, it's my most reached for, so that's why she's a little banged up. But rose quartz corresponds to your heart chakra. It also attracts love, self-love, and so if you feel like that's something that you need in your life, you may want to pick yourself up a piece of rose quartz. Honestly, rose quartz is my favorite kind of crystal. If I could be a crystal, I would be a rose quartz. It's honestly just such a beautiful, perfect, amazing crystal. So for you, pile number 2, the first thing I'm seeing is break the chain, ancestral patterning, and healing, rewriting the future. So we have this card here, and then we also have get grounded, empaths, highly sensitives, and connect with nature. So what these two cards tell me is you are someone who is deeply sensitive, and you might be the first in your lineage or in your family to want to kind of break the status quo. You're someone who doesn't want to do things traditionally. You don't want to fall in line like everyone else. And in 2020, this is the year that you're going to start setting your boundaries. You are going to start moving forward in breaking those patterns, standing up for who you are. You're going to be way more connected with yourself. You're going to start to understand yourself better, especially if you're somebody who really struggles with highly sensitivity. Being highly sensitive is actually a scientific trait. If you guys are interested in that, there is a whole book dedicated to highly sensitive people by Dr. She's like some psychologist. I haven't finished the book myself, but I am a highly sensitive person and an empath. So it is a book, though, that the parts that I have read are very helpful. So you can just look up highly sensitive person, and I'll put a link down below. So if you guys want to get that book, I'll make sure I link it below for you. But I feel like if you are an empath, or maybe like you have a lot of like energy and you feel very shaky all the time, or very I don't want to say anxious, because I don't really like to link psychology and tarot. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a specialist. Do not substitute me for as such. But I do feel like a lot of the times when you have a lot of energy and you just feel like you're constantly buzzing and you don't know what to do with it, it can be a very big sign when you harbor a lot of anxiety that you are a highly sensitive person or an empath. So definitely something that if you haven't discovered that about yourself, you may find that you'll be discovering it this year. And the reason that you discover it may have a lot to do with ancestral patterning. Maybe you're very challenged by your family, very challenged challenged by people who you let be close to you. And because of that, like, you're like, oh my gosh, why do I feel this way all the time? Why can't I be like everyone else? You're not like everyone else. And it doesn't mean that you're a special snowflake necessarily. That's not what I'm getting at. I think we all have our divine path. There are so many empaths and highly sensitive people in the world. But I do feel like this is your path of self-discovery and actually coming to a place where you honor yourself first. You have so much love for yourself and you're gaining it. This is why rose quartz is going to be good for you this year. You will be coming into such alignment with your own self-love that you're going to be able to set up those boundaries with people and not like basically just stop letting people walk all over you and stop letting other people tell you like, oh, stop being so sensitive, or like, can't you just do it like this? And you're finally coming to a place where you're going to be able to say like, nope, actually I can't. And you need to just respect my boundary or get out of the way. So I do feel like this is going to be a gentle year for you, but like at the same time, it's going to be you really standing your ground, because we do have the 5 of Swords, we have the 2 of Cups, we also have the 2 of Wands. So I do feel like you guys are going to have to make a lot of difficult decisions this year because you have 2 different 2 cards, and 2s usually correspond to decisions, plans, 2 different things, 2 opposing forces, two things coming together, or oftentimes having to make a decision with 2 different things. For some of you guys with this 2 of Cups, you will, this is funny, it kind of something similar happened in pile number 1, but some of you guys will be getting married or engaged this year. Some of you guys will be falling into your like forever partnered relationship this year. Some of you guys are just going to be coming into better balance with yourself, like having higher alignment with yourself, matching your shadow self to your like everyday self as well, and like really coming into full alignment. A lot of you guys are also going to be doing a lot of planning for the future. The two of Wands really talks a lot about future planning and like having the world in your hands, knowing that anything can come into fruition. But back on the boundaries, the real tea, with this 5 of Swords coming out, be careful when you're asserting your boundaries, because I think some people are going to take it very personally. That doesn't mean don't set them, but just realize that not everybody is going to agree with you setting your own boundaries, and it's going to take maybe repetition. It's going to take hurting some people's feelings in order to make yourself understood and heard. That's the thing with boundaries. And if you guys are curious, gosh, I've plugged my podcast so many times today, but I have a podcast that I run with my IRL twin flame, and it's re-debuting for season 2 on December 30th. But the second week, which will be January 6th, we actually have a podcast episode coming out on boundaries specifically. So if this is something you need more information on, please check out the link down below for the podcast. It's available everywhere you listen to podcasts. All the information will be in the description. But with this 5 of Swords, this is like, yeah, you're winning, you're doing what you need to do to protect yourself, but some people's feelings are getting hurt. And I think what you need to realize is that it's not your responsibility for once. Like the 5 of Swords, usually it's like, oh, don't make people feel like that. But for once, like, no, this is about you. It's not your responsibility to make everybody around you happy. It's your responsibility to take care of you, to fill your cup up so that you can actually fill others' cups up. Because if you constantly are giving to others, not taking care of yourself, it makes you a version of yourself that you don't like. So like, no, set the boundaries and don't be scared of it. We also have the 2 of Air, and we also have the Knowledge card. So with the 2 of Air, lots of 2s in your reading. Definitely, if you see like 222 on the clock or anything like that, definitely pay attention to the number 2, just because it's coming up so much for you guys in this reading. I would just definitely say it's something you need to pay attention to. But the reverse 2 of Air often talks a lot about a black and white approach to life. And it's like being very, very closed-minded and having your eyes closed. So I actually feel like for you guys, you're going to be opening your mind to so many new things, because we also have the knowledge card. I feel like you guys are ready to up-level your lives into the next version of yourself. You know, we're closing out a decade, we're moving into a new decade, and you guys are ready to grow and actually come out of this. Maybe you've been someone who has been narrow-minded or has been very conditioned to be narrow-minded, and you're actually coming to a place where you're open to so much more than you've ever been open to, and it's going to be like a very powerful year for that for you. Because the stuff that you learn this year is actually going to set the course for you potentially for the rest of your life. So you will be actually coming out of this. And I think for you, it's going to make you not want to tolerate anyone who is like this. Like, it's speaking on terms of like the hero's journey. There's like somebody who specifically wrote about the hero's journey, and if my twin flame is watching and this is her pile, which it may or may not be, she's going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And I wish I could ask her, but the hero's journey is like a very specific story. We see it in movies. We see it it's like something that repeats a lot, but in the hero's journey, usually at the end of the journey, the hero like can't always return home because they've been forever changed. And so for you, I feel like that's what's happening this year. You're being so forever changed internally that like, it's like you're going to see, I feel like whoever picked this reading, we had a reading similar to it last week or the week before, but it's like you've seen how the Matrix works and you've seen outside of it, and now you can't tolerate people who are in it. It's like you just opened your mind so far that you can't sit with people who aren't willing to do the same. It like triggers you. So that might be another thing. This would be more of like a forewarning with the Five of Swords that like, if you get to that place, do be careful of being dogmatic. Do be careful of like having a belief system that you believe in so wholeheartedly that you think everyone has to be the same, because that actually makes you more narrow-minded. So just be very careful with that. Don't get too dogmatic. It's something I myself struggle with, so I get it. And lastly, your animal totem for the year. So funny. This one comes up. We've seen the hummingbird, I think in the last 3 weeks, we've seen it 3 times. The hummingbird has come up for a lot of people. So you might even be someone who picked the same pile as the last couple of times. I swear on my life I shuffle these cards. But the hummingbird represents the element of air, blue, gray, green, red, and also any color. Basically, like hummingbirds can come in all kinds of colors, but for the year 2020, this is like your animal totem. So hummingbird symbolizes lightness of being. It means enjoying life to the fullest, drinking in its sweet nectar. It is holding those close to you closer, loving with abandon, and being present in your life. Hummingbird is considered one of the most aggressive bird species, regardless of its tiny size. When hummingbird shows up, it means you need to stand up for yourself and don't let others intimidate you. What did I just say? Hummingbird gives you speed, and you often do things quickly. Sometimes you have to slow down like hummingbird too. To you, this means that while you move quickly, you can't wear yourself down. Make sure you take time to recharge before taking flight again. Hummingbird can fly both forward and backward, and it can hover, which means you go with the flow, adapt quickly to changes, and take the time to stop, look, and listen. Hummingbird encourages you to embrace the playful side inside of you. It's essential to your well-being to find balance between going 100 miles an hour and sleeping. Sometimes you just need to slow down without actually stopping. So I hope that resonates with you guys, pile number 2. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at kozykale. And also my podcast, Twin Flames. It is linked down below, available wherever you listen to podcasts. I would love to have you there. And I hope to see you guys in a future video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if any of this message resonated with you, because I would love to continually see you here as well. And I will see you guys in a future video. Bye! All right, my pile number 3s. If you chose pile number 3, what you guys have here, sorry, it's kind of hard to see. We have a piece of adventurine here, and this is actually a green crystal, and it actually is like an adventurer's crystal, in my opinion. It like helps you and assists on your journey. If you're traveling, it's good to have adventurine. Adventurine is also said to aid in like weight loss. So if that's something you're looking into, it might be something to grab. It also corresponds to the heart chakra. So your guides may be asking you to grab onto a piece of adventuring. So we are just gonna set that here. So my pile number 3 is what I have for you. First and foremost, we have transform. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. And we also have council of light, divine orchestration, helpers in subtle realms. So interestingly enough, what I'm seeing for you guys is this year is going to be very transformational in 2020. Things are going to be changing whether you want them to or not, because it's happening on, like the card says, a cellular level. It's happening in a way that is completely out of your control, and you're actually really going to need to rely on your spirit guides, on spirit, on whatever your spirituality is. You are really going to want to be getting in touch with your intuition this year in 2020, because I feel like you are actually going to be on a journey very much by yourself this year. And not to say that you're going to lose a bunch of friends. I just feel like this year is going to be very you focused. We also have the Ace of Wands reversed. We have the Three of Pentacles. So not totally alone, but hear me out. The Three of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. And so I feel like, first of all, you guys need to be really careful who you trust. I say that because even though we have a Three of Pentacles here, which to me is about like having good friends that you can rely on and like building a community. If some of you guys are trying to build a community of sorts, like it is a good sign for that. However, with an Ace of Wands reversed, to me, like this could be someone's intentions are impure. This could be that a project that you had so much high hopes for doesn't really pan out the way you want it to. And I also am seeing that you may be in a state of like, to me, the Four of Cups is like the card of apathy or dissatisfaction. You may find that you're very dissatisfied with the quality of your relationships or your work or creative endeavors. And the universe keeps trying to like give you gifts over and over and over. And you're just like, no, I don't like that one. No, I don't like that one. And ultimately it's because you are going through an up leveling in your life on some kind of level, even like I said, if it's cellular, you're going through an up leveling in life, and the things that once resonated just aren't resonating as deeply as they were. And the real reason I'm saying be careful about who you trust and why I think you're going to be on kind of a loner's path is we do have the Journey card here, and we also have the Scribe reversed. So the Journey card to me really speaks on that, going on a journey, that like life's work is a journey. It's not something that just happens overnight. And this is just going to be one of those years that is very much a part of the process. I don't necessarily see anything that is so like, oh my gosh, no tower moments, no like OMG, but I feel like this is going to be the year that you really start to figure out a direction and you start to put your mark towards it, and accepting that your life isn't like, I'm getting this like message of desperation, like you've really been wanting to push your life in a certain direction, and ultimately you need to just surrender the process because there's too much control that's trying to happen right now. It's shutting out the right relationships. It's shutting out the creative potential, and it's making you somebody who is like really like, guys, I don't want to be that person, but not all of you, but some of you guys are that person that anytime someone says something, you're playing the victim. Like every time somebody says something that's like positive or like lighthearted and they're trying to like shift a perspective, I'm not trying to tell you you have to agree with every little thing that someone says, because that's like detrimental to your own health, period. But what I am saying is like, you're that person that just kind of like craps on everyone's ideas. You are that person that is playing the victim in everything, like, oh, that's so nice for you, but, or like, it must be nice, or, you know, you have your dream job, so it must be nice for you to get to do blank, blank, and blank, or, oh, so easy for you to say you have a husband who cares about you, or, you know, this is not me projecting that. I'm just saying like, you are somebody who is like so dissatisfied and looking for things in life in all the wrong directions that's what's going to continue in your 2020 unless you change it and actually like take a good, hard, long look at yourself and see where change needs to start happening, because I'm just getting this message of like victim. Like some of you that are here are playing the victim in life, and it's time for you to stop doing that, because it's not helping you. And like I said, things are going to change whether you want them to or not. I actually feel like there are people that have been like wanting to help you and like guide you and be by your side, but you haven't allowed it to happen. So like you're not alone, but part of this transformation does need to happen alone. We also have the scribe reverse. The scribe reverse talks about being careful who you trust, keeping things to yourself and not sharing every single piece of yourself with everyone, because some people do not have the best intentions for you. Some people do want to see you fail, do want to keep you on this path, because frankly, maybe you've already been there and you're like their one friend that they can always sit and complain about life with, and they don't want to lose that. So I feel like for some of you, you have friends that have been like, oh my gosh, finally you're seeing it. Let's keep going. And some of you, you need to remove the friends that you have and pick out new ones, because they're not helping you. They're not helping you grow, and you're on a path of self-discovery this year. So gosh, your guys' reading has been all over the place, and it's really funny because I also pulled a spirit totem for you guys, and you guys actually got 2. You're the only reading that got 2 of them. Everyone else only got 1, but 2 cards came out for you guys. We have the crab and the spider, and don't be alarmed about this spider. I know so many people hate spiders, but I'm gonna tell you the real tea on spiders. Leave spiders alone. And you can tell everyone in the world that Chloe said, leave spiders alone. Unless they are literally poisonous, leave them alone. I always try to remember that even with spiders, even though I kind of have a fear of them myself, like if I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, wouldn't I want somebody to have the grace to like leave me alone and let me do my job? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, we are no different. However, let me tell you a little bit about these totems. So for the year, these are cards that just kind of symbolize. So we have number 1, the crab. When crab appears, first of all, element is water and primary color for crab is red. When crab appears, it means you're about to experience rejuvenation, regeneration, and transformation. Just as the crab grows within its shell and then molts it off, prepare to enter a cycle of spiritual, mental, or physical cleansing that will result in a complete renewal in some area of your life. This is a time of emotional growth as well. You may connect deeply with your intuition and healing abilities, and experience more emotional depth and understanding of yourself. Crab assists when you need to feel more protected, just as it has a hard protective outer shell, it can lend this feeling to you. If you need to hold on to something, ask crab to help you with its strong claws. If you're feeling held back, then ask it to show you where you're being held back so you can let it go and free yourself. Sometimes you can purposefully hold yourself back from reaching your goals without realizing you're doing it. If you find yourself in a situation that's not good for you, lobster and crayfish give you their ability to move backward out of the situation at a quick rate of speed. So I feel like some of you guys, this is like, even as I'm talking about it, you're already seeing it. And so, call upon crab to assist you in shifting that part of your life that feels out of alignment. And so also we have spider, which corresponds to air and earth, colors black, brown, yellow, plus every other color. Spider symbolizes creativity, patience, and resourcefulness. When spider appears, it means to begin a new creative project. Spider means receptivity, and if you were to start a new business that embraces your creative talents, it will be successful. Spider helps you get in tune with the flow of life around you. Spider has an intuitive knack for being at the right place at the right time. This enables you to achieve success in your business ventures. Spider warns you not to get caught up in the web of lies. Listen closely and use your intuition to connect to the truth under the words. By being aware, you can avoid problems. This also means not to create your own deceitful web by presenting yourself as more than you are, or by making promises that you cannot keep. Be honest and truthful in all areas of your life to make the speediest progress to your ultimate goals. Lies, deceit, and misrepresentation will ultimately catch up with you. So move forward in truth and honesty. Spider assists when you need to get rid of toxic people in your life. So literally, everything I just said came out in both of these. So I hate to be that person. Don't shoot the messenger. I do really get this strong feeling that a lot of you guys are very much victims and you're playing the victim, and it's time to own up to that. For those of you that maybe are not doing that, just expect this year to be a little bit more intuitive, a little bit more on the creative side, and you being a little bit more in your shell and kind of understanding who in your life needs to be weeded out. Because I think for a lot of you guys, you're really going to need to rely on your intuition and spirit to kind of help you, like, trust your gut feelings. They're there for a reason. And thank you so very much for listening. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at kozykale, and my podcast available everywhere you listen to podcasts, called Twin Flames. I run it with my IRL twin flame. We talk about spiritual development, shifting this perspective, and helping you on your path to living your most authentic life. My twin flame is in her master's program in psychology. I bring the spiritual aspect. We bridge the gap. It's really beautiful. We love it. Every single Monday, it's making its grand return for season 2 on December 30th. So please do come and check it out. We also have an episode coming out on December 6th about boundaries. So if boundaries, talking about these, is something you need, it might be a podcast episode worth listening to for you guys specifically. Boundaries have been coming up a lot lately. But thank you guys so very much. I look forward to hanging out with you guys again in the next video. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye. All right, pile number 4. If you chose pile number 4, what I have for you is, first of all, a green green tourmaline. This is a green tourmaline, and this crystal actually very much, it helps to aid in transforming your life quickly, like rapidly bringing in transformation. This is like my crystal of transformation. Anytime I'm like in a really upset mood or like feeling anxious or like whatever I'm feeling, I will hold this crystal up to my heart and I will just like ask for my mood to be changed. And usually within minutes, I feel so much better. Unless I'm like having a panic attack, then that's like something totally different. But this is like just to raise your vibration in the day-to-day. I feel like this crystal really helps. So it might be something worth looking into. It's also really cool to look at. It's got little pieces of like this green crystal in it. I don't know. It just looks really cool. So there we have that. And for you, pile number 4, we have Starseed, What Lights You Up? Woo, cards be slipping. Starseed, What Lights You Up? And then we also have Pleiades, Double Mission, Channeling and Uplifting Humanity. So for a lot of you guys, I feel that this year in 2020, you are going to be working more towards your passions. You're going to, if you're not passionate about anything or you don't feel like you're passionate about anything, in 2020, you are going to be blessed with your passion. It's finally going to be made known to you, and it's actually going to be the thing that causes a lot of transformation and like a change in your life. And I say it's going to be a blessing because we have Jupiter in here up in this card, and Jupiter really is like the planet of luck and expansion and like just like blessings from the universe. So I feel like you're really going to be blessed with like understanding what your purpose is this year. You're going to be coming into figuring out what it is that you are so deeply passionate about. We also have Pleiades over here, and the Pleiadian card, honestly, Pleiadians are, this could be like a 30-minute conversation plus. No, this could be like a 3-day conversation. I'm not going to get too heavily into it, but Pleiades, it's basically I can't even sum it up into like simple words for you, and I'm sorry, there's too much. But what the card symbolizes is like you coming here for a divine purpose, and this year that divine purpose is going to be made known. It's a purpose that you like came here and specified at this time, at this place, in this life, in this body. You specifically came here for a divine purpose, and that's the purpose that's coming to light. So I love that. I feel like so many of you guys are really going to be coming into a new version of you. We do, however, have the Fool reversed coming out for you guys. We also have the Emperor. Ooh, this is interesting. This just got real interesting. And then we also have the 6 of Cups. So a lot of you guys are going to be really resistant to this change because the Fool reversed is like not going on a new journey out of fear. And the Emperor is doing things in a very traditional way. So like, not necessarily just tradition, but like being your own boss, getting things done. And so I feel like for some of you, you haven't been living your life like that. Like this is definitely a card of entrepreneurship as well. If you're like thinking about being an entrepreneur, it's like, this is like boss up energy. So I think a lot of you guys feel like you maybe have been playing small for so long and that's what you've been used to, that you're kind of afraid of whatever this thing is. You're afraid to like boss up. And so you're like perpetually stuck in this state of fear. No, I don't even like saying stuck. That's something that Fearless Intuition teaches. I don't even like that. I'm not going to say the word stuck. You're on pause. You're not a tree, you can move. So I feel like you're just kind of taking a little bit of time to pause and reflect and see where in your life you want to take this creative endeavor or this passion that you're finding. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be like a spiritual teacher. It could be so many different things. It could be an expression of art. It could be building a company, building a brand, starting a creative project, or just providing a service that's even already out there in the world. It also could be a direction with school. If you're in school and you're trying to pick out like a major, this could be the time that is revealed to you what you're supposed to be doing. And with the Six of Cups reversed, I again feel like this is going to be very much going against what is traditional for you and maybe what you've always thought you would be doing. It's also about you being, again, a little bit resistant to the change because the Six of Cups also talks about the past. It's also a relationship card with family usually. So I feel like maybe you don't feel very supported in your endeavors. And so this makes it very scary for you to move in that direction. We also have the Queen of Earth and we also have the King of Water. So with the Queen of Earth, this is like somebody who is very nurturing, very loving, very abundant. You are going to be blessed this year with abundance, especially with seeing Jupiter here. Again, I don't know why I keep noticing that, but Spirit is telling me to bring it up. So we also have this card, though, talking about abundance and having abundance. So like you don't really need to worry. Whatever move you make, it's going to be in higher alignment with you. So you don't have to worry about the financial aspect. If that's a concern of yours, put it out of your mind. You're going to be fine. And with the King of Water, I feel like this is going to be like, honestly, the King of Water is somebody who's like very smart to me in business, but also does things from a place of compassion. So like if you are getting up to lead and like be your own leader of your own life, especially if we're talking about entrepreneurship for those of you, this is going to be a good move and you're going to know how to articulate yourself compassionately with this newfound thing. You're going to be able to keep compassion for yourself and for others, and you're going to do it with such finesse and grace that you have nothing to be afraid of. I feel like these are just affirming to me that like you're going to be fine. These two cards, like everything that you're afraid of and taking this leap, it's all there for you. We also have the Fox card as your animal totem for 2020 for the year. And so what this card is about, I'm just going to read this to you. We have Fox corresponds to the element of earth and also the colors black, gray, red, silver, and white. And when Fox shows up, it means to spend more time with your family, participate in family outings and activities, and just spend quiet time with one another. Fox has incredible insight, which is a sign to watch what people do more than listen to what they say. Actions speak louder than words, and at this time, you'll glean useful information through insight instead of sound. Fox means you should stay in the background unnoticed. Fox warns to be wary of people who don't have your best interests at heart as they are being sly and cunning. Are they trying to trick you? Fox means to be alert to those qualities within yourself, but also look for them in others. They can be very revealing of the individual's truest intent. You're a great problem solver, can intuit the intentions of others, and are unafraid to take risks. It assists when you want to stay out of sight and observe the activities of those around you. If you're traveling as a family, Fox is a great animal to ask along to help keep you safe. If you find yourself in any kind of predicament that you need to get out of, Fox's ability to slip away will aid you. So yes, I do feel that like you need to really be assessing with family, because we have that 6 of cups coming out for you. You do need to be able to assess with family that like some of them really do want to see you succeed. Some of them really do want you to live your most authentic life and be on the best path for you. But some of them you need to recognize that like, though we love our mom and our dad and our siblings and our aunts and uncles and cousins, though we might love them, sometimes their projection of their own reality, they will project out onto you and those of you in the family. And really, they think they have your best interests at heart, but really it comes down to them having a perception of their own reality. And it's what they think is best, but they don't know you. They don't know your heart, and they're never going to. Like, I could sit and talk about the conditioning of family forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, because it's something that the status quo, I feel like, really hasn't challenged, and it's getting more and more challenged in like recent years. But I think a lot of times, especially when it comes to family and spending time with family, we think that we have to be like one of the flock, and you don't. You have the ability to stand up and do what you need to do. Look at your family like people with real lives and real feelings, and not just like, oh, you're my mom or you're my dad, so this is how it has to be. Look at it in terms of, oh, these are other people that have lived X amount of years as maybe I'm going to live. They have their own experiences. I have my own experiences. It really helps when you start to separate this like idea of family conditioning. And I think that's really going to help you this year on your path if you have felt very snuffed out by family, because this card talks a lot about family. So be true to yourself, live your authentic path. I feel like in 2020, that's going to be the big highlight for your year. And I wish you the best of luck on your journey. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at kozykale, and my podcast, Twin Flames, available wherever you listen to podcasts, a link down below. And I think that's everything. Yeah, if you want more content from me, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you will always be notified when I upload. And I will see you guys in a future video. Bye!